Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Roll20 Presents The Burning Wheel. So things are rolling, things are moving. Let's touch base with Alessandra and Ludovic. So let's start maybe with who wants to start? Does anybody have like an idea of the two of you have an idea of something you want to do, like leaping to mind?
I want to
I
see what you're doing and then how I can interrupt it.
right. Last time we did the whole using the fund to cover my tax die.
Yep. Things are looking up fiscally.
We did the conversation with the lady treasurer, which didn't go super well. I feel like either I want to work on you couldn't really interfere, so I guess I'd be working on belief number 3 and trying to find another member of the Queen's Circle to buddy with.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you can pursue whatever goals you want. We don't have to. Right now, we've been kind of in these everybody gets an hour thing, but we can break it down and do just shorter stuff and move around more. But I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to pursue whatever they want. So you haven't talked to the king in a while. We could have a scene like that.
Well, yeah, but Dave can't. I mean, it would be probably something that Ludovic would not be invited to.
No, definitely not. Which is okay. I'm just saying whatever is most interesting to you right off the bat.
Yeah, that's fine. If we don't do this first scene, then I'll think of an interesting lead while you do yours.
I mean, because it's one of my beliefs. It's something that I want to be working on, but I can also work on the belief 3. Even though I just did that last session, I think that it's still important. So
okay,
either or both. I mean, if you want to have a scene with Ludovic and Alessandra together, then it makes more sense for me to be.
Oh, I super don't care. My job is just to complicate your shit. So.
Oh, sorry. Your lead-in made me think that was what we were.
No, that's just Dave. Dave was saying I'll just interrupt, but it's fine. You can do whatever you want. I would like to see, because we haven't seen the king in a long time. We just know he's busy. So
right.
Yeah. Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Are you where are you? Where is you have some time to meet with the king, because he's a relationship for you, so you don't have to roll or anything. So you can just set the context.
I feel because last time Alessandra tried to have a conversation with him about having an heir or whatever, and he kind of shut her down. I failed the roll. So I feel like maybe Alessandra is trying to expand her influence into outside of the bedroom spheres with him.
Okay.
Incorporate other parts of their lives together. She's done that in terms of being present at the when people come and ask the king shit. But I feel like I want to see maybe her trying to bridge. I don't know how the king is, but I feel like the way that he's been with her up to this point, he's always been busy and distracted and grieving and doing.
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. Exactly. And so I feel like Alessandra is attempting to be more of a focus and less of a
because your whole relationship with him was you're a distraction from all that other shit.
Yeah, and so Alessandra is trying to divert that a little bit. So maybe this is I don't know, they're having a meal together, or he had some thing to do and she was like, oh, you can use my desk in my office and I'm just gonna be around, and I don't know, I don't know that she's great at this.
Okay.
TBH, but
I like the idea of setting it at, so you're at it's meal time, and you've joined the king for dinner, and you're at your dining table, And and there's servants around, but they're at a safe distance. And the king is eating, but also has like a stack of like writs and like things that he needs to like go over. And so we begin with him very focused on that. Like you said, you're just there. It'll be up to you to kind of like interject yourself into that. Like he knows you're there, but he's not paying much attention to you.
Yeah, and I feel like, let's see, it starts off probably with that, like you said, he's distracted. And she's probably making little bits of small talk that he can respond to with like a grunt or like a single sentence or something. And then like just like, silence again. And there's probably a point where maybe like she lays a hand on, God, I don't like this is, it seems really impolite, but like she lays a hand on top of like the paper that he's looking at and is like, I thought when you agreed to have dinner with me that we'd be having dinner together.
He looks up at you, and his eyes are like a little bloodshot, and I mean he's been tired for months. And he looks up, and he says, "What?"
And she does the thing where she's like, "Are you saying what because you didn't hear it, or are you saying what because you don't?" And she's like, "I thought when you agreed to have dinner privately with me, I assumed that we'd have some time together. I know you've been busy."
He nods, and he says, "My every waking moment is devoted to keeping this kingdom afloat. I fear I attend to one matter, and 12 more spring up in its place like some sort of hideous bureaucratic hydra. I feel that if I stop, I might drop dead."
I cannot deny that I have seen this. I may not be experienced in rule of law or running a kingdom, but I can help you if you'd let me. You worry me. You worry us. I do not wish to see the courtiers look at you out of their eyes with concern and not be able to help you. I know that you cannot accept handouts from just anyone, but I would hope that we could be partners in this.
So he takes your hand, because you have your hand on the pile of papers, and this isn't to like move your damn hand and let me look at my papers. This is like he takes your hand in his hand, and like squeezes your hand. And he says, "You have already proven your loyalty to the kingdom many times over. Without you, we would have nowhere to hold court. Because of you, I can stay in my kingdom and rule. And though it is not the castle I would hope to be in, you've already done so much. And I appreciate your trying to do more, but you needn't worry yourself on it."
And she does this thing where she's obviously been like trying to get to this point like several times over in other conversations and hasn't gotten there. And she's like, "If you do not need me to help you with the bureaucracy of the kingdom, there are things yet that I could do to help you, to help. Surely you must see that a king with no heir is in a dangerous position. thought we might. And she's like leaving it trailing on purpose.
I mean, I assume
you know?
the word you're not saying is bone.
Well, but they already do that. But you made the point that she has to persuade him to be willing to.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna fairy tale this shit in that like he can't impregnate you by accident, like because otherwise all it would take was time and practice. The game has no rules for me to make you roll something to like produce an heir.
Yeah. Well, so the point is that this is she's trying to persuade him to be willing to do baby making and not just woohoo. This is The Sims. Like you have to choose.
Right. Okay. So you're like, I was thinking we could, and I think he hears you, but doesn't directly address the point. So he says to you, he looks at the papers, and he sighs, but it's less a like, oh, I'm tired, and more like, oh, I hate this. And he says, I was raised on stories as a boy, young prince of Carpathia, on the way that things used to be. Kings would ride into battle. There was a nobility to it that I feel I have all but lost. And he gestures like at the papers, and he says, "Is this what it means to be a king? I cannot remember the last time I drew my sword against an enemy of this kingdom. Now it's all," and he like scowls at the paperwork. There was a time when we needed no court, when it was simply a king and his queen, and the kingdom obeyed because it is what was right. I'm wasting away here. I'm meant for better things than this. He like scowls, looks down kind of sullenly.
You may be dreaming of sword fights and times long past, but my dreams, I think, are a bit simpler. I have dreams of you with a little black-haired boy on your knee.
And what would I give an heir, Alessandra? And he like dramatically swipes the paperwork off the table, and he says a stack of documents to put his signature upon. What sort of kingdom is this for a prince? No, I think it would be a pity if the line were to end here.
Perhaps this winter extends so long because there is nothing to usher it into spring. New life. You have been too long with your books. Running an estate is something I have experience with, and there are plenty of people that could help you there, but no one can help you continue this kingdom. Do you truly wish to just leave this place with no king and no god? Nothing.
The people must have something to believe in. And now, I haven't even the time to go out into my city and learn what it is. I hear whisperings of cults, of witchcraft, and I have not the resources to deal with it. Nor, if I'm honest with you, the desire. And besides, I know not the fate of my queen. She may yet live.
You saw what that monk turned into. I doubt that anyone in that castle is safe or alive after so long a time with such a creature. Looking back is not the way.
He shakes his head and he looks down and he says, I feel that in the cold of this dark season, even the fire of my passion has been extinguished. I mean, you knew he was a fucking somber motherfucker getting into this. He's just the kind of king he is.
Right.
But he is giving you, like, he wants things to be like they was.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think that
like there's an angle that would occur to Alessandra here where like you could manipulate him into being like, yo, you know how back in the day king could just do whatever the fuck he wanted because he was the king, right? Like part of this is him being like, like, why does it have to be like this? This sucks. I wish that I could just like fucking rock and roll like an awesome dude, like my ancestors used to, and not have to be beholden to all of this like courtier horse shit.
Ride out with me.
I mean, okay, so he's all like, "Oh, I don't have any passion anymore." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like he's like the kingdom is dead without, and its king is dead inside.
Anyway,
wake him up
Alessandra,
inside.
you not?
You look away for a second, when you look back, he's got all this like eyeliner on.
Anyway, this is the perfect time for Alessandra to be like, passion, okay, that's something that I can work with.
Yeah.
So I feel like she makes some kind of eye contact with servants and like does this like the fuck out kind of look.
Yeah, and they're your servants, so.
Yeah. And then like she's gonna be like, hey, yeah, you remember how things used to be like super passionate and stuff? I want to distract him from the paperwork and the like I can't do whatever I want and things are garbage by seducing him in the dining room.
Yeah, okay. So I'm hearing a task, but if the intent is just to distract him,
Yeah, I know that's not.
no, and that's okay. You can do that, but that's the repeating pattern, right?
Yeah,
He gets somber. You're like, yo, let's bone. You bone. Nothing comes of it. I mean, and then he goes back to being the boring ass king. But if you want,
Well, I had that whole
instead-
conversation, but we didn't roll a persuade.
No, exactly. Yeah. But that's okay. This is the role, right? So you can be like, like,
I guess
I'll give you something to conquer.
I could. Okay, so I want to persuade him to, like, I guess I'm persuading but forking in seduction, right?
It depends. Seduction is a form of persuasion. You can still set the same intent. You could be like, I would like to fire him up, right? In which case, you could start with the seduction, and then if you succeed at that, then you could plant the idea with persuade. You could be like, cool, now you're feeling all fiery, and you've, conquered
Well, but I
the
feel
bedroom.
like we already had that conversation prior to this.
Which?
The like, hey, how about an heir? And he was just like,
Yeah, but you can come back to that, right? Like, you can address his feel. Literally, he's expressing feelings of impotence to you, right?
Yeah.
He's like, what need have I of a sword or an heir? I'm a fucking paper pushing piece of shit, right? I'm not like my father's father, right? Like, we got war heroes. Like, there's stories where he can literally track back like a couple of generations and be like, yo, my great grandfather killed a dragon with a magic sword. Like, come on. What have I ever done?
So I'm hearing that the first step would be seduction, and then the second would be like, and by the way, let's also.
You could certainly get him fired up. Yeah, and that would be a good start.
Okay.
So instead of
This
just being
one I
like,
can interrupt.
what's that, Dave? I totally missed whatever it was you just said, but I'm sure it was hilarious.
Because this one I interrupt.
No, it is not. Get out. So yeah, I mean, you want to seduce the king, and it's less about like, it's using the fact that like you want to get him fired up. You want to goad him into feeling like less crappy instead of distracting him from his crappiness.
Yes.
Totally.
So he was expressing, like you said, feelings of impotence and lack of passion. And I'm going to be like, wait, just a second.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like a
And
passionate thing to me.
Right, and you're hitting on him, but you're hitting on what I think is part of why he pursued you in the first place, because it goes back to that kingly, I could do what I want, I can have what I want, look at this sexy foreign lady, I want that. And you're like, yeah, you do. You're a big, tough king, man. So you both, I mean, okay, he feels good about it, but you get what you want, right?
Okay.
But the part is that you're not demure, right? Like it's not like, ooh, like you're getting him fired up because you like push back a little bit. Because he could have sex with any pathetic courtier he wanted to, but this
Not
is
in
different.
my house, please.
I mean,
Don't even.
I mean,
No.
he hasn't, but if this fails,
Don't. I don't care if he's the fucking king.
servants,
This is my house.
bring me all the young maidens we have at hand.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah. If you fail, you just make him sex crazed and he just goes after everybody. No, but I mean, I think
No, so back to the roll.
back to the roll. Yeah. So your intent here is to what?
I want to use seduction to, like you said, like fire him up, get him out of his like, "Oh, I can't do anything. I'm not a cool king," like blah blah. Like I want to use seduction to change his attitude from thinking of himself as passionless and impotent.
Yes. Get him fucking fired up.
And then
This is you starting the engine. The next roll will be you trying to steer the boat.
yes, very much so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah. So he's just like he's done that thing where he's gone all Conan and he's like slumped down in his chair. It's like staring at his wine. Like fuck, being the king sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do to like be like, yo asshole?
So yeah, she dismisses the servants from the room, and I think that he was like fluffing at his papers and stuff, like, look at this garbage. Like I think that she just like pushes them entirely onto the floor.
Uh-huh.
And like half sits on the table in front of him,
Yeah.
and like turns his face toward her, and probably goes in for a smooch and is like, this isn't the passionless king. Like the king that I know.
So
That's passionate and abundant.
what about this? Like because this could become the like, oh, you're just distracting him thing, but is your attitude towards him different? Like, do you like push him away a little, or are you
I feel like she's kind of
get him to fight?
She's kind of frustrated in so much as like she's been trying to use subtle manipulation tactics,
Slap him in the face
up to this point, and I feel like this is a little bit more aggressive. Like she's trying to push him out of his like, stop being so goddamn dour and fuck me already.
Nice.
Like,
all right, yeah.
So it's probably a little bit more aggressive than usual, and also like I feel there's like a frustration for her.
That's good. So I think the failure here is that you've unreined the horse, and it's going to be more difficult for him to stay under your control, right? You've lit a fire you cannot control. You can still try it, but it's going to be more difficult. Like this is going to be him being like, yeah, damn right, and then go and do some dangerous
going off
shit.
And riding on a horse or something.
Well, yeah, or be like, you know, that conversation that he had with Soren about like, we need to get into that castle. We need to go on a fucking adventure, bro. He's gonna be like, Soren, get me my magic sword to the castle. Hire me a wizard.
God damn it.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Get a wizard. I know one. She's
right.
real good.
Get me some torchbearers, motherfucker. We're doing this thing. So, okay, yeah. So it's a seduction test.
Okay.
And it is difficulty is his will.
Which is blah blah.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna give you an advantage because he's not as like willful as usual, right? Like we
being a
clearly
pushover.
showed that he's in a kind of a downer place. He's got some like emotional wound penalties. So I'm gonna give you I'll give you an advantage die on the roll.
Okay, so that one, noble wise, blah, blah, blah.
Where's my super suit?
Adultery wise,
Yes, because he's technically still married.
manipulation wise,
Yep.
and would husband wise be on the field?
He's somebody's husband.
Okay, I'm just doing it.
Okay.
I want this to succeed.
Do you want to spend a persona?
That would give me one more point.
Yeah, one more die.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Okay.
And the obstacle is what?
6. No, 6 because you have the extra die. So.
No, I added that into my.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a penalty for
Oh,
him. It's 6. I was just reminding myself that that's how I gave you the advantage.
Mother of God.
That's a lot of ones. You got a 6 though, so you could throw a fate at it.
I mean, might as well, but like I have very low hopes for this.
Okay.
What is the failure consequence?
He
Oh
gets
yeah, it was
fired up
that
about
he gets fired
going
up and
fight
like does some
shit.
stupid shit.
Yeah.
She lights the fire, but then cannot control it. Okay. So you got 3 successes.
Oof.
It was a fucking valiant effort, and you
No,
get what
it
you
wasn't.
want. So I'm gonna change one of his beliefs. I actually gotta make sure I like write out his beliefs more explicitly because I have them in mind, but I haven't written them down. So I'm making a
I'm
note.
so good at seduction. What the fuck?
Right belief.
There's a lot of bad die.
That's the gods have betrayed you. Right belief for king about the ways of old. What's kind of ironic here is that now the king is all interested in like what it used to be like, as Agatha is creating this syncretic like synthesis religion. Awesome. I dig it. So, yeah, so like it's great. It goes precisely the way that you expected initially. There is table things knocked over, and it's the outside. We see the lady protector blushing and angry that she's again forced to listen to this. She doesn't like you very much, but she's
That's
very good.
fine.
She's very good at her job. And you just made her job very difficult because you've just set a fire under him to go do dangerous things, and now she has to go protect him. But hey,
That's
maybe
not what I wanted.
it's okay. You still have time.
Until he gets himself murdered trying to go after some fucking stupid Miro.
It is certainly on the table. But you succeeded in getting fired up, and I think maybe more importantly, you've learned a few things about where his mindset is and where you can angle in on it. He wants to feel he doesn't want there to be a prince until he feels like a king, right? So this is a good first step, even if you failed and you don't have control over him.
I mean, I never did.
Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, Lodovic, what are you up to? Where do we see Lodovic?
Yeah. I guess if I am not pursuing Alessandra, the first thing I need to do if I'm going to embark
you certainly could. You could say like this is like later, and you have a meeting with Lady Corvidae. But if you have something else you want to go after, that's cool too.
No, I'd like it to be later, and I'd like to have the meeting with Lady Alessandra, Lady Corvidae.
Okay. What does it take to get a meeting with you, Alessandra? Like how would Lodovic go about that?
You'd probably talk to Adeline. Who would, I mean, because the thing is that Alessandra is probably doing, when she's not like trying to get the king to pay attention to her, she is either like in the room listening to people drone on about the problems with the king, or running her own household, which probably includes meeting with merchants for like food and stuff. So there's probably definitely like, I think that it would involve one of your servants going to Adeline, right? Like, or Lodovic could do it himself. Another noble would send a servant to go to my servant, just like we did with the Lady Treasurer. They would like manage our schedules and then be like, you have a meeting with blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if Lodovic would follow the ordinarily like etiquette sort of stuff. You might just like, I mean, it's up to you as your character. Like you might not follow the
all I wanted to know is like how someone would do this, what the common way to like.
I mean, the same way that you made me do it with the Lady Treasurer.
Yeah, totally.
You would send a card saying like, I want to meet with you. When are you available for blah, blah, blah.
That being in mind, Lodovic, what do you do instead?
I write up a business plan as a pretense to talk about the estate management stuff that's already clearly super important and therefore is demanding of her time, and then also have this in mind.
Oh my god, you're one of those graphic designers that emails someone who's like, well, I redesigned your website because obviously your design sucks, so you should probably hire me. Here's the new design.
We've already got to that part. We've already established her website sucks, and I'm already fixing it.
Okay.
Wait, so sorry, repeat that.
I'm going to turn up.
You're just gonna
Well, let's
under
have
the
you make a test, Ludwig. Let's see how the plan you came up with, because this can be used as an advantage die for, if you succeed at it, for Alessandra or you or whoever, like managing the Corvidae estate based on what you know about it.
All right. In which case, I think that is probably administration.
Yeah.
Running a business.
Yeah, if you were, what's interesting is you're treating it like a business. Like I would demand estate management otherwise, but this is absolutely like you look at it like a business. I think that's fine.
Okay.
And do you know what your Blue Jay? Do you remember what your estate management ob usually is for?
Let me go ahead and check. We did a roll
I
recently.
think it's ob 2, but then +1 because there's so many more people. I think is usually
My estate management was ob 2.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I think, Dave, this is an administration, running an organization. And I think that this, because it's a little outside your purview and you don't necessarily have 100% of the information, it's a little more challenging than usual, right? You're having to make some guesses, some educated guesses about stuff. So let's call it we'll call it ob 3, administration.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. Okay, so base 4, I have court-wise. I have lord-wise.
Wait, court-wise?
Yeah, I'm running a court.
I've never been able to fork that into my estate management rules.
Yeah, I don't think in this case it's not about running the court, right? It's you're going to her the business plan of how to like make money off of her house.
Oh, okay, yep, reasonable.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll fork accounting instead.
Okay.
Accounting, definitely is lord-wise, even if it's not court-wise.
Yep.
These are lords and ladies who I am sorting out.
All right. And the condition for failure here is that you're confident in the plan, right? You're like, yes, this will certainly work. But when Alessandra or someone else looks over it, there's like some glaring like problems that you obviously just like didn't notice. It doesn't show you as inept or anything. It doesn't make you look like a fool, but it's like, oh, you just don't understand certain important details.
Totally reasonable. Okay. Would I fork 1, 2 things? Yeah, I won't go for any of the more out there ones.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So make a note somewhere on your character sheet that you have like a plan, a business plan for House Corvidae, and that it gives a +1. It's like basically a +1 advantage die for anyone trying to manage or make money off that house.
Sounds good.
You can use it once and it like you implement it. Okay. So what's the plan? Do you just show up one day or?
I probably have enough foresight not to come at a time when court is being held, because then she doesn't have the excuse of being busy. But
I mean, I can still make excuses.
We have to wait for all the servants.
Yeah.
It just makes things take longer than they need to, and time is money. So
yeah. So give me a time of day. When do you show up? Because court is like closed basically at, I don't know, like dusk probably, and then there's like everybody distributes to like do their own thing.
After dinner, I think, in that case.
Okay. All right. So is this the same day, or is this like another day from the scene we just had with Alessandra?
Doesn't matter. Oh, sorry. I'm looking. I don't think that. I mean, whichever way is more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly asking you, Blue Jay, what thing, like, because it'll be the context for your character, right? I think it's better if it's another day, like maybe it's the next day or something.
Sure. I would have said the same, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you arrive at the House Corvidae, and there are like footmen at the door, who are politely telling you like the house is closed. Honored Lodovic, please call again another time.
Oh, no, it certainly is a shame. For a house to be closed. I suppose it's more like a business than I thought. No, this is urgent. I must see Lady Alessandra. Believe me, this is something that concerns your jobs as well as the rest of the household.
And they kind of look at each other, and one of the footmen kind of rolls his eyes. It's like, it's always a fucking emergency, and so he goes inside, and he the other footman says, he doesn't invite you in. He's just like, okay, just hang out. Like, he says, we'll send word.
Is he noble born? Does he look like a noble to me?
I don't think you can tell just by looking at him.
A noble who is also a footman?
Yeah, I mean, he belongs to that world, but he, like, you know, he's if he was.
I mean, just like Joy is from the noble court setting, but that doesn't mean she's a noble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a test I can make? I've got like.
I mean, I don't think the nobles are like ethnically different from anyone else. Like, I don't think there's any clear, like his interaction with you is very like limited. So I don't know what clues you'd be able to pick up on.
I'm thinking like speech, mannerisms, the way he holds himself.
I mean, but if you're looking at this, a noble court subsetting would have minstrel, jester, servant, gardener, forester, torturer.
I mean,
all those people could have varying.
He's in that setting, certainly. As to his lineage, I mean, all you can tell, and this is just me saying yes, like to your question, not to the question, but saying yes to giving you the information. He's a servant. He's a noble's servant. He probably lived in the court his whole life, but isn't like a fancy pants. He's not Lord whoever because he's a footman.
Yeah, so I suppose Ludwig says, sorry, it has to be like this. It's all the unnecessary formalities that forcing you to stand around and deliver messages and things. And I'm sure there's plenty more that you could be getting on with, I'm sure.
And he scowls slightly, and he says, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
All right. Oh, that's fine then. I suppose we'll both stand here and twiddle our thumbs while we wait for your companion to return.
Okay. So there's a moment, and then the door opens, and the other of the footmen comes outside, and says, he says to you, please, and gestures for you to come inside. And Oberyn goes in first, of course, and then you find yourself in the like waiting room. And there's a woman there who you've probably seen around. What does Adeline look like again, Alessandra?
I don't know if we've specifically described her appearance, but she's not like, she is like a Corvidae servant. I don't know if she was brought from the inland sea. Maybe she was like, this is stupid and weird, but like, it's possible that there's a family line that has always been like the butler's family line. Like, all these butlers have always buttled for this family. Maybe she's of a family that has always served the Corvidaes.
Right. Some people have a hallowed kingly bloodline. Other people get to be servants.
But like, that's totally a thing in this type of fiction.
Yeah. Like, your father's mother was such a great servant that we've decided that your entire bloodline just belongs to us now. But yeah, that's fine.
So she would probably be fictional Mediterranean, maybe like more olive skinned, maybe more tan than Alessandra would be, because like she prides herself on staying like pale, even though like also cosmopolitan. And probably dark haired.
Okay.
If not like the blue-black hair of the Corvidae, still probably dark hair.
Right. And she's dressed well as a servant in high standing. She's very important to you and to your household. And so she is the one that meets with you, Lodowick. She's waiting there. So there is a woman there, but not Alessandra. And she says, she curtsies to you, and she says, Mr. Axter, hello. The footman said you have some pressing business with the house. You're muted, Dave. There you go.
Right, sorry.
It's okay.
I do a little bit of a bow as well and say, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You seem to have me a bit of a disadvantage. You know who I am. However,
She says, I guess, how would she introduce herself?
We didn't give her a last name.
So she just used her first name. She
Yeah,
just said,
Astrid.
I'm
Adeline,
Adeline,
sorry.
yeah.
Different
So
NPC.
she says, I'm a servant to the Lady Corvidae. My name is Adeline, and I should be able to help you with whatever it is that you need assistance with.
oh, then it's a pleasure to meet you, Adeline." And I'll stick out a hand.
Is she pretty?
She looks at it. I mean, she's like.
She curtsied, and then you were handshaking, so it's like two different types.
I was answering Andrew's question. I think she is like, she's not done up to look fancy is the thing. So she tries to be kind of like, yeah. She looks at your hand a moment and then looks at you like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's typically polite when meeting a new person for the first time to shake hands as a gesture of goodwill in future dealings with each other.
What an interesting affectation. Where I'm from, we don't generally touch strangers.
Fair enough. You don't know where I've been. Though I suppose under business, I have finished writing up a preliminary plan for her ladyship to review the management of the house.
How much does she know, Alessandra? She hasn't even come to bother you about this yet. She's just like, oh, somebody's asking.
We made the point that she knew that I had gotten an influx of money because she was handing out the like ode stuff, but I did not tell her where from.
Okay, I think she's smart enough to maybe make the connection here.
She's not dumb. No.
So she says, well, if you have anything that you would like me to pass along to the Lady Corvidae, I would be happy to take it and make sure that she sees it.
Oh, that's very kind of you. However, this is both somewhat private, I believe. The lady wished to keep it, and also, and this isn't intended to be disparaging, but perhaps something you're not trained in specifically to understand. Neither is Lady Alessandra. I might have to explain some of the intricacies of the... We do things a little differently. We don't know the way that nobles do things.
I'm sure that if there's anything that the Lady Alessandra doesn't understand, that she'll contact you. So basically, we don't have to go back and forth and fucking do this all day.
Yeah.
She wants you to fuck off, and you want her to take you to Lady Alessandra. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I think yeah, you just need to overcome her will. How would you like to do that? Are you just convincing her? Are you like, yo, this is some important stuff. I need to deal with this directly, or do you have another angle you want to take on it?
Do I have another angle? think it's still persuade, but I'm going to go at this from a slightly different perspective.
Sorry, I'm just.
Well, of course, I understand that it's improper to. In fact, I don't quite know exactly what the proper methodology is in obtaining a visit with Lady Corvidae, but I do believe it would be to both of our advantages to expedite this process in the future. We wouldn't have to spend as much time passing frivolities between each other. We could get straight to what needs to be done. I'm sure you're busy enough already, and it was not my intention to make your life any more difficult, that's for sure.
Are you bribing her?
I mean, it doesn't really sound like it. It sounds like you're like, yo, you don't need to worry about, like, I want your life to be easier, so just let me through.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking I want your life to be easier.
No,
so let me
that's
give you
if this
some
roll
cash.
fails, then there's that option. So, okay, so you're basically just like, look, you should just let me in because this is gonna happen again. Like I have a relationship with Lady Corvidae, and you just don't know about it yet. Okay, yeah, I mean, make a persuade check.
Okie dokie. What's the up?
I was 4.
Okay.
And if you fail, she'll just politely decline. She'll just be like, no, I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Do I really not have just basic nobles wise? Interesting. Oh, she isn't really noble.
No, she's part of the noble court again. Same thing, but not a noble.
So is court wise applicable?
I don't think so, because this is like an etiquette situation.
Yeah, if you had etiquette or servant wise or.
Nope. I have peasant wise, but she's not a peasant.
She's not a peasant. No.
She's not a merchant.
The one social class you don't have something to deal with. Noble servants.
Yep. Can I fork in bureaucracy because I'm trying to?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable because you're both kind of using bureaucracy here. You're in that place.
Wow, that really might be it. I might just be rolling 4 against 4.
Poor you. My heart.
Alf is like, I've been doing this for years.
Ridiculous amount of dice.
Welcome to my world.
That's fine.
You should have had Lodovic, have murdered somebody at a point. So you had that sweet corruption.
Corrupt out another character.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, go ahead. You give me 6s? Oh no! All right. So
Fine.
she very politely, she says, "It's very kind of you to think of me, but there's a process for these things, and if the Lady Corvidae wishes for me to grant you more expedient access to her person, she will let me know to do so." And she holds her hand out. And she says, so if you'll simply give me whatever it is that you need me to deliver, I will happily take it, and you can see your way home.
Yes. No, that's perfectly fine. Gosh, I've forgotten the name of her now.
Her name's Adeline.
Rival in the court.
Oh,
Tabitha.
Tabitha Volpe.
Lady Tabitha Volpe.
Mm-hmm.
What? I'm not going to say that word, but I thought it.
Yes, of course. As I say, I'm sorry to have troubled you. If you could just mention that it's quite pressing, quite time constrained, as I have had an alternative offer on my time from Lady Tabitha Volpe. I'm sure you're aware of her. And I didn't want to unfairly only bring it up with. I'm sorry, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm running out of time.
So she knows, Adeline knows that Alessandra. I don't know. Does Adeline know that Alessandra doesn't like Tabitha? I'm getting.
I mean, the
I'm
thing
getting.
is
I'm getting
that
Blue Jay's hatred of Tabitha and Alessandra's mixed up.
the thing is that Alessandra and Tabitha have only talked like twice ever. And the only time that they really had an actual antagonistic conversation was the scene where I stormed in on the party, and then after that part, everyone froze to death. So
Yeah,
I feel like Alessandra probably doesn't actually have a lot against Tabitha.
Okay, so it wouldn't set off any
someone
flags
that-
for. It wouldn't set off any flags for Adeline. Okay.
They're just like on a level.
Listen, you don't
and
need to have a lot of
anyone-
you don't need to have a lot of conversations with someone to hate them. I'm pretty sure that Churchill and Hitler only ever talk like twice. So,
But Tabitha hasn't, murdered thousands of people yet.
that
so,
you know of.
that I know of.
Okay.
I mean, it's no skin off my nose. It's
I'm just like in
I'm just-
character.
I'm
there's
just-
not a whole lot of
So
context.
do you? I guess here's the
going
thing.
after Tabitha.
Yeah,
so.
that's all I wanted to know. I just want to know how Adeline would react. So Ludovic, do you give her the like business plan, or are you like, I'll come back another time, and you like tuck it back in your shirt? Like what's or do you want to try another way to bypass her? Because she doesn't like say anything or do anything when you're like, oh well, I wanted to give her a fair shot. You know that she'll report all of this back, like Blue Jay, all of this conversation gets reported back to you. Unless Ludovic is like, yo, let me just slip you some coinage here. Don't tell her about this. Let me in, right? Like,
I don't have that. That's not a skill we've established.
with bribery.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a resources test.
Oh, I can just bribe the fucking off her. Fine. Yeah, I'll just be like,
I
no,
mean-
I understand.
So yeah, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I understand. How do you politely do this? I'm not the kind of person who bribes people. I don't know. how
Yeah,
you say-
right. Like Ludovic would be much better at this, I think.
It's like,
Well,
You gotta,
because
you
you
gotta
made the
mask
point.
it behind some veil of legitimacy. That's the best way to bribe someone.
You made the point before that like you were trying to like take a load of work off of her by being like, I'm just gonna like come back again, and it's just best if you just let me through so that you don't have to work harder.
Like, you probably couldn't see me as I slipped through the door because of all the rain in your face. As you go around her into the door, and she's like, "Oh God, paper money."
Yeah, but I think that
Just
what Andrew
handfuls of
said
coins.
is probably like you make up a reason why she should take your money.
Yeah.
That seems like legit, so that she doesn't feel like it's outright betrayal, right? Or that she's not doing her job. It would be like, you are doing your job. I'm like putting this in your hands, so thank you for
Listen,
doing.
I think that obviously Ludovic is better at this. If you can make like an ob1, because she's nobody basically. She's just important because we've seen her a bunch of times, but she's still of the nobody class.
Yeah.
So if you can make an ob1 etiquette test, I will just say like Ludovic knows a way to like smooth this shit over.
okay, I don't have etiquette.
I know you don't. So it's an
let's-
ob2. Ob2. It's the average of will and perception.
Average of will and perception. I think they're both pretty good.
And then we can talk about making a test to generate cash dice and all that shit.
He has cash dice.
I already have some cash.
Oh, you have
dice
some
on-
already? Okay, perfect.
It's a thing. Okay, etiquette, beginner's luck, modifiers. No, 1.
Oh yeah, you're balling. No problem.
Gosh, it's probably something about times have been difficult lately, and it really is heartening to see that my business partner has such diligent employees, and that's probably a bit confusing because you've probably never been called an employee before.
She doesn't even know what that word means.
And we'd managed to find some extra points in the budget to to reward you all for your hard work. So why don't I just give you this now?
Right. You're like, part of my plan is paying you. Let's just do that.
Yeah, and
No, I like it.
and I give her some, and I say,
How
I
many,
tend to find it's
what are you
better-
giving her? One cash die? Two cash dice?
I mean, I can give her cash dice, or I can make the resource roll.
Yeah, sure.
I'll make the resource test, and I'll use the cash dice.
I was gonna say though, I feel like a bribe is cash dice. Like I think in this case, it's not about like I'll pay you later. This is like, here is a bag of gold right now. Because you did explicitly say like we're doing this thing now. Resource test is like I'll make sure that you get hooked up later.
Yeah, I can just straight up give it.
I
to
think
her
this
if
is
that's
just straight
what
up giving her. Yeah.
Okay, I will take off 1 point of cash dice.
Okay.
I'll give it to her, and I'll say, I tend to find everybody finds their work a little easier when they're less preoccupied with certain things.
She takes she looks at the pouch that you've given her. It's just little because it's like a couple of like gold coins. It's still a lot, but she looks at it and she looks at you like kind of like, and God, she wants to communicate to you not to like when you show up and Elisandra's like, how the fuck you get in here? You know, where did like why did Adeline like block you? Like don't talk shit, right? Like say you never saw her.
Maybe that's part of the etiquette role as well. And I'll say,
you would know that.
of course, I simply barged in here rudely, as all middle-class people tend to do. Merchants especially think they're above everybody else, and I wink at her.
She's kind of like taken aback a little bit, but also is already not present anymore and thinking about what she can spend this money on. And not in a greedy way, but this is just like, oh shit, like suddenly like she's obviously not even paying attention. You've seen this look 1,000 times. She's not even hearing you, but that's good. That's what you want.
I mean, she's a housekeeper. She's probably got like this costs this much, and wouldn't that be nice for my own home? And like she's probably going through like all that in her head.
So yeah, so I think she lets you go inside. She opens the door for you, and she's a little gobsmacked, honestly. And as you and Oberyn head out into the like the hall, he turns and looks at you, and he's like, "Why didn't you just start with that? I mean, no offense, sir, but like he looks around. He's like, why all the pleasantries?"
Well, I'm trying to learn, literally. It's better to not have to spend money if you don't have to. I'm trying to learn how to use words to get what I want. It's a novel concept, I suppose, but it's the way that the nobles like to do things.
He rolls his eyes, and he says, listening to these nobles talk, it's like trying to have a conversation with my great-grandfather. It's like they're speaking another language.
I tend to think of it like water. Trying to cup it in your hands, hold it long enough to see your own reflection in it, and it's slowly slipping through your fingers. I'm not entirely sure why I think it's like that. On reflection, doesn't make an awful lot of sense.
And he laughs.
You see what I mean? I'm trying to be as they are. But.
And he laughs and he says, he says, how they managed to last this long, I'll never know. And I think the two of you head out to find Lady Alessandra.
Yep.
But while this is going on, elsewhere in the city, in a tavern somewhere, a murderous fugitive and her hateful best friend are sitting at a table, and I think we fade in on this scene, and it's very much the like grubby medieval tavern, right? People kind of like sitting on the tables, and you're seeing there's like the greasy candle in the middle of the table, and Emilio is leaned in and he's saying to you, he's like, so how do you intend to do this? You're going to poison the man?
There's a couple of ways, Emilio. I happen to have some experience with this. Sordid past, you know.
He looks at you and he's like, I mean, I would have believed you if you said you're going to juggle him to death, and I've heard your jokes. That's another good way. But poison?
I will skip right over that insult about my jokes, which are fantastic, by the way. But no. This stuff, and like she produces the bottle.
He looks around like
for just a moment.
I think he goes to be like, don't flash that thing around.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like this stuff, and then just like puts it away again.
And it's gone again.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're making me nervous.
That stuff, that's not just poison. This stuff is the kind of stuff where if you breathe it, it could kill you. This is the potent, horrible shit.
And he's like, isn't that a little overkill? Like, couldn't we just have had him stabbed or something?
Are you going to do the stabbing, Emilio?
No,
Am I going to do the stabbing?
With these hands, I don't think so.
The thing about this is something this potent will send a lovely message to everybody else that owes money. See? If we throw this in his face or something equally horrible.
And as you're talking, he starts talking and his voice like goes up in volume. He's like, "Oh yes, no, the tax on cows is very terrible. Keep it down for the love of God."
I'm being quiet.
I don't know if you know how to be quiet. Look, fine. So you have this horrible poison. And you're going to use this to kill him. What are you going to do? Throw it on him? He has bodyguards. You saw.
They're not going to be with him everywhere. Not all of them.
He's a paranoid man with that much money, illegitimate money, no less. I bet you he's got a bodyguard in the bloody outhouse when he takes a shit.
But he's also a no one, essentially.
And he kind of like rolls his eyes and he's like, well, look, it's like the grand scheme of things. From down here, he doesn't look like no one to me.
Listen, all it takes is on his way back home, I bump into him, accidentally spill some wine directly into his face, and then I run real fast.
I thought you said that this stuff could kill you just by breathing it. How are you not going to get it all over you?
Hold my breath and hope that it works. Otherwise, I can throw the thing, but then we've got to worry about it has to break, right?
I would pray that you come to your senses, but God's dead and no one would hear me. You're insane, you know that?
If I uncork this stuff and I splash it on him, guards are not going to be a problem. They're also going to be just as close to him.
Well, yes, fine. You could douse yourself in it and throw yourself on him like a common whore, but I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm worried you're going to die.
Do you have the crossbow? We could put it on a crossbow bolt and shoot that, but that didn't work.
I'm going to put you on a crossbow and shoot you at him. No, I had to pawn the crossbow, all right? I don't have the crossbow anymore.
Alternately, we have to do this with guile. But the thing is, the guards, they're going to stop me before I get to.
And he looks at you. So you've lost him. You said something, and he's looking at you, like kind of stupidly.
Yes.
And he's like, well, so he looks around. He's like, so you have someone else, someone on the inside that's going to help us? Why didn't you say that in the first place?
No, idiot. Doing it quietly, as in, oh, my lord, would you like a taste of our delicious new thing? Or I represent the owner of X Fighter, and I have come to present you with a gift. Please drink of this fantastic stuff that smells like acrid poison.
And he looks you up and down and says, nobody's going to believe that you're anybody worth talking to him. I mean, look at you. You look like a Stygian. I think size. I don't.
Thus, the being a servant accidentally splashing a thing on him and then hoping that he suffocates to death.
Oh, wait. No, I have an idea. All right. So you're my servant. All right. Yeah. And I'm someone important, and I have someone that I want to fight in his fighting, and then. Yeah, and you're the clumsy idiot who spills the poison on him, and by the time he realizes he's about to die, I've run off. You're on your own. And then he dies. And what? You get there's a reward in this, I presume, for you and me.
Then
of
we
course,
go back
myself
to-
for helping you.
Yes, I've already told you that you're going to be taken care of. We'll go back to the Black Veil after that, and things will be good.
And he grins. He's like, oh, yeah, I've heard some things about that place.
Your plan's not a bad plan. I actually kind of like your plan.
And he kind of puts his hands out like, yeah, well, no shit, I'm super smart.
Are you sure you can pull off the whole being someone important thing?
Come now, Joy.
No, you're right. That sentence right there, that's funny. You're good.
he squints at you and he's like, oh, I was just getting started. God damn it.
All right, fine. I'll transfer this. Well, actually, I'm not going to transfer this stuff anywhere. We'll keep it in the bottle it's in. I'd rather not uncork it.
And he nods.
Do we want to present this as some kind of gift, or am I going to spill it?
I mean, I think. Listen, we'll go to the and then I'll get some wine, right? Because obviously, I can afford it. And he looks at you like, you're gonna have to help me. Like, I don't actually think I have enough money. Listen, we'll get a wine goblet. They just leave them lying around. No one's paying attention to them. And you can.
What about that one?
And he's like, no, I don't want to carry the goblet all the way there. We'll get one at the. I have to get into character, all right? So when we get there, you can steal a wine goblet and you can fill it with that stuff. And then when you go to give it to me, you can spill it on him. And
good plan. So you hold the goblet as if I'm going to pour for you, and then I will trip. Problem solved.
He looks at you and he's like, yeah, but just make damn sure you trip in the right direction. Because I swear to God, if you disintegrate any of this...
Emilio, you think I would be going through all of this trouble here with you now, the last couple of days, having these conversations, if my plan was to spill poison on you? No.
He squints at you like, maybe that's what I was thinking. And he says, he says to you, right, okay, well, I mean, it's a good thing that I kept my nice clothes. Looks around. You're
missing a
right, yeah, like missing a button. There's like a stain on his sleeve.
Well, like he's got like a necklace and there's like a jewel missing from it that he's had to pop out and sell or something.
Yeah. And he says, but look, by contrast, I'll look. I mean, and he looks at
it's
you.
true. In that place, you'll look. So fighting pit then.
Then I'm gonna get a reward, right? There's money in this for me when we're done.
There is association with a lovely group of people who will appreciate your contribution and mine, and thus future opportunities will open up that will perhaps be a little less murdery.
Are you? Is this true? Like, are you gonna introduce him and be like,
"That's my plan"? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're not lying to him. All right.
Nope.
Okay. So he, So he. You can see him like screw his courage to the sticking place, and he stands up, and he's like, "All right, let's do it."
No time like the present.
Then he, he's like, "Yes, strike while the iron's hot."
And the poison is.
I feel like you're getting into this loop of him trying to get the last word, and then you trying to get the last word.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yes, right then, let's go."
Away with it. We go.
Right. So the two of you are both like, after you. No, let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
So the two of you leave and head out into the night. Let's grab a break. And I think when we come back, we'll jump right back to it and see what happens.
And just like do the poison.
Yeah, I want to see what happens.
I can't believe I've given Amelia so much power in this.
Oh, I know, right? Like, you're both in this position because he could very easily screw you over, and you could very easily accidentally spill poison on him, and it's like, oh god. And also, you don't really know what the poison is going to be like, so I think it's going to be exciting. Whatever happens, stick around. We'll be right back.